Once you understand MIT explanations of scientific homeopathy, you will realize that your whole perceptions of homeopathy as well as your approach to its practice are undergoing a revolutionary transformation. You will realize that you are no more a practitioner of some unexplainable mysterious belief healing system, but a proud scientific medical professional, capable of understanding and scientifically explaining your tools and principles to anybody. Your language becomes scientific, your thoughts become rational and your explanations becomes logical and convincing. You will no more have to talk about miracles, wonders, riddles and mysteries of homeopathy. You will get the self-confidence to face any questions raised by any skeptic related with homeopathic potentization or biological mechanism of homeopathy cures. Experience this change yourselves. Once you understand MIT explanations of scientific homeopathy, you will become capable of studying and interpreting organon and other original works with a rational and historical perspective, and can filter out the scientifically obsolete ideas from them. You can see drug proving as studied of drug pathology, and symptoms as indicators of biomolecular errors happened in the organism. Once you understand MIT explanations of scientific homeopathy, your perspective of phenomena such as life, disease and cure will become scientific. You will realize that living body is a complex biomolecular system, and mind is only a functional product of biomolecular interactions happening in central nervous system, which is part of the material body. There is nothing immaterial in life processes, including mental activities. Diseases are errors in biomolecular interactions, and cure is the rectification of these errors. Once you understand MIT explanations of scientific homeopathy, you would realize that any individual patient coming to you will have diverse types of molecular errors in him, caused by diverse types of endogenous or exogenous pathogenic molecules, and as such, diverse types of molecular imprints will be required to remove all these multitudes of molecular inhibitions to effect a complete cure. In most cases, all these diverse molecular imprints required for the patient will not be available in a single drug, and hence, we will have to select more than one drug according to similarity of symptom groups, and apply them simultaneously, alternatingly or mixing together as decided by the physician. Once you understand MIT explanations of scientific homeopathy, you will realize that even so-called single drugs are not really single, but combinations of diverse types of independent molecular imprints, representing diverse types of drug molecules, acting as independent units upon pathogenic molecules having configurational affinity and removing molecular inhibitions. All your confusions regarding single drug multiple drugs issue will spontaneously vanish into air. Once you understand MIT explanations of scientific homeopathy, all your confusions over miasms could be resolved by perceiving miasms as chronic disease dispositions caused by the off-target actions of antibodies generated against exogenous or endogenous proteins including infectious agents. It would help you in scientifically understanding and treating various types of chronic diseases including autoimmune diseases. Once you understand MIT explanations of scientific homeopathy, you will realize the fundamental difference between molecular drugs and molecular imprinted drugs, why molecular imprinted drugs are safe and molecular drugs including allopathic drugs are not safe or harmless. You will realize why the use of mother tinctures, low potencies and biochemic triturations are not genuine homeopathy. Once you understand MIT explanations of scientific homeopathy, you will realize that concepts such as dynamic drug energy, vital force, etc. are all scientifically baseless, and that the medicinal property of drug substance is decided by the structure and properties of constituent molecules, whereas the medicinal properties of potentized drugs are decided by the three-dimensional conformations of molecular imprints they contain. Once you understand MIT explanations of scientific homeopathy, you will realize that when applied as similimum, potentized drug does not act as a whole unit, but it is the individual constituent molecular imprints that independently bind to the pathogenic molecules having configurational affinity, remove pathological molecular inhibitions and cure the disease. Once you understand MIT explanations of scientific homeopathy, you will realize that during drug proving, drug substance does not act as a whole unit, but it is the individual constituent drug molecules that independently act upon the biological molecules, cause molecular inhibitions and produce symptoms. Once you understand MIT explanations of scientific homeopathy, you will realize that since molecular imprints do not interact each other, all confusions over drug relationships and antidoting are totally irrelevant for post-Avogadro diluted drugs. Since molecular imprints act as individual units, when applied as therapeutic agents, there cannot be any harm even if we mix two or more potentized drugs together, or prescribe them simultaneously, they will work. Once you understand MIT explanations of scientific homeopathy, and understanding similia similibus curantur in terms of phenomena competitive relationships of similar molecules and molecular mimicry explained in modern biochemistry, you will come to realize that foundations of homeopathy is no less scientific than that of modern medicine. Actually, we have to be proud of the great genius of our master Samuel Hahnemann, who rightly observed these natural phenomena during a period when modern scientific knowledge and biochemistry had not even started to evolve. Once you understand MIT explanations of scientific homeopathy, you will realize that molecular imprints forms of drugs cannot interact each other, and as such, one cannot antidote another, or act inimical to each other. Once you understand MIT explanations of scientific homeopathy, you will realize that there is no chance of so-called aggravations, suppressions, provings or any other harm even if wrong drug, wrong potency or untimely repetitions are used, if you are using only molecular imprints forms of drugs. You will also realize that proving with post-Avogadro diluted drugs is simply impossible. Once you understand MIT explanations of scientific homeopathy, you will realize that there are no more riddles and mysteries remaining in homeopathy that could not be scientifically explained. MIT provides a rational explanation of homeopathy, fitting well to the paradigms and methods of modern science on one side, and our everyday experiences with homeopathic cure on the other side. No more questions remain unanswered. Once you understand MIT explanations of scientific homeopathy, you will realize that deciding a prescription, potency, dose, follow-up and producing cure are not that much difficult things as we have been made to believe so far. Practicing homeopathy is very simple. Once you understand MIT explanations of scientific homeopathy, you will start experiencing the self-confidence scientific knowledge provides, and the great transformation it brings to your life and outlook as a scientific homeopathy physician.